Welcome to the Artful Minds by the Atelier magazine, where we plug into the pulse of creation.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Komal, for joining us today. On behalf of Atelier team, I welcome you to this interview. Komal is an award-winning poet, writer, and literary advocate known for blending creativity with social impact. As the founder of Papri Connect, she promotes well-being and literature through meaningful community engagement. A G100 advisory member for the Art Leadership and Films Council, and a peace partner with TAPNTU movement since 2022. She uses poetry, storytelling, and advocacy to inspire authentic connections, inner reflection, and global harmony. Her work continues to empower voices and nurture creative expression across cultures. It is my pleasure to introduce you, Komal, and I would like to hear a few words from you before we move on to the questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Abirami, for that beautiful introduction. I'm very happy and honored to be here at this interview. And as you said, I think you introduced me enough. I'm a writer, poet first. And recently, I've just founded a writing platform, Papri Connect, which promotes happiness and well-being through creativity and writing. And thanks to G100 Arts and Films Council, I have broadened my horizons, and I'm here today thanks to you and Dr. Beena, and I'm very privileged, and it's my pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be connected with you through G100 and the Soul Sisterhood. It's a wonderful platform that we have got. Moving on to the questions, you mentioned the healing power of literature. How do you see it impacting personal and societal growth?
Yes, literature is very old, and given the status of the world today, loneliness is an epidemic. We all need healing. That's what I personally believe, even though we are connected online in very different ways. But I think on a personal level, we are all very lonely and look for that, that personal touch, that connection that we should have with others, which I believe is lost mostly after the pandemic. So the literature on a personal level, it helps me understand my emotions. When I write poems, I write with a blank slate. And when the words come out on the lines, I realize that I have spoken my truth. When I speak my truth, it finds resonance with somebody in London, with somebody in, say, Chennai, or somebody in Manipur, or somewhere in the world. That is where society comes in. I am a part of society. So my writing, my resonance with somebody heals society. We find echoes of our loneliness, our sadness amongst others. Even though we don't admit it, we read, there's some part of our soul that is calmed down. Somebody understands me. Somebody is there out there who writes the same stuff. That is the healing power on a personal and on a societal level for me.
That's really wonderful. I can really understand. Like everybody needs healing at different levels. That's something, a point that we need to really understand and go deeper and then accept it. As a leader in the arts, how do you promote creativity among emerging writers and poets?
Yes, today our society stands at crossroads. There's a clash between intergenerational, there's Gen Z, there are the earlier generations where this clash is happening. To understand them, I think we need to give space. Need to give space to them, need to give space to us to understand one another on different levels. So I talk about the inner space and the outer space. Outer space is the world we deal with, professional, corporate, our interpersonal dealings, and inner space, where we try to understand ourselves as writers, as professionals. So bringing together these two spaces is where I want to work upon, where my aim is to bridge that gap of understanding that we have. So Paper I Connect, again, is that platform that I'm trying to build, and to bridge that understanding or lack of understanding. Again, I circle back to the point, loneliness. Where do we have loneliness? It's because of the lack of understanding. So that's what I want to bridge. Yeah.
That's really wonderful. You know, you are throwing up some light that is actually not seen. People are lonely, but then we are not understanding that we are lonely, and then, you know, we are throwing light on that spot. Thank you so
Yes.
much for that. Can you share a moment when you felt deeply moved by a poem or a piece of literature?
Yes, there are many instances when I've been reading a poem or a paragraph in a story where I've stopped. I've literally stopped. Time has stopped for me. And I take a deep breath and I said, oh, goosebumps are there. And yeah, this is it. This is what life is. Many instances, but then I would like to come back to what I understand by writing. To me, writing is conjuring up words out of the everythingness that I'm surrounded in, the nothingness that we exist in, the cosmos, the space, and the somebodyness that we embody. That is what writing is. It's conjuring words out of our very existence. That is what shakes me. That is what entices me. That time and me, we collide, isn't it? That is where the magic is. That is where you get inspired. That's where I get inspired. And then I hope, not think, I hope that it shows in my writing. So that's it.
That's really
Yeah.
wonderful. Wonderful. In fact, poems, you know, like, is a very wonderful form of expression in any form of emotion, like love or sadness or anger,
Yes.
whatever it is. Some of the poems, some of the verses, you know, like, always are very thoughtful to people. And sometimes the poems, you may think in one aspect and right, and it may resonate with me in a different angle, and then it may give me a different level of understanding also. That's really wonderful. This is, you know, a different form of an art or expression that we should really understand. Even a person who cannot write will always try to understand when a poem is shared, and the moment
Yes.
they are able to resonate the incident or the moment with that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So moving on to the rapid fire questions. How does your poetry reflect the modern day social issues you care about?
Again, I circle back to loneliness. I feel that's epidemic everywhere. Even if I think about it, you being there, I being there, there's that certain space, or with our community, we have that loneliness. So that's what I want to highlight. That's what I want to just do away with. Words, soulful words, my experiences that I see happening around me. Invariably, they find a way inside your writing, inside your poetry, inside your even articles. If you see, there's always that one line that shows that spark in that writer. So that's what I want to, talk about and highlight. Yeah.
Thank you so much. What role do you think the poetry plays in uniting people across different cultures?
Shared humanity. We are one. Even though we're divided by borders, countries, states, lines, houses, boundaries of houses, we are all one. In the essence, we are one. And India, as a spiritual nation, we have such strong cultural roots, such a strong spirituality within us. We don't realize that. So that's what needs to come out. That's what needs to gel together. And I think that's it. I don't want to say anything further, because I think it will dilute what I'm trying to say. That shared humanity is what binds us, what we need to highlight, what we need to bring out in our words. Even in conversations within us, we shouldn't isolate, and try to, be islands amongst ourselves. We cannot exist as an island. We need to exist as a community. Understand that. I think that's my answer for this.
Thank you. Thank you. So, which poet or writer has influenced you the most?
Yeah, I've been reading, that's a lovely question, my favorite question, in fact. So I've been reading since childhood. My father cultivated this reading habit in me ever since I was very small. So a lot of spiritual books. I've been reading spiritual books since I was 10, 11, ever since I could understand. I couldn't understand what was going on, their experiences, but I read. I just read like anything. So Autobiography of a Yogi, Swami Yoganand. There's Sri Ramakrishnan, his memoirs, his books, his experience. Sri Shardama, his wife, his consort, her books, and a lot of books, In Search of Secret India by Paul Brunton. Those were the foundation of my childhood, and I think writing foundation is that only. So they've inspired me. And recently, Ruskin Bond for his childlike curiosity, Matt Haig for his peek into the mental health of this generation and how to get out of that void, that loneliness void that we are. So these are the few people who have influenced me, gurus, spiritual guides. So they have influenced me most. And I think when I stand at this crossroad, I think from behind, that is what is pushing me forward. Again, our inherent spirituality. We as Indians are blessed to have this spirituality within us. And I'm blessed too. So that's it.
Wonderful. What is one essential quality a poet should have?
Self-awareness. You have to have this quality. You start writing, you don't have it. You're probably writing the worst rhyming poem in history, but you are becoming self-aware. As you go on in your process of writing, you become more self-aware. That's what you should cultivate through your words, through what you want to convey. Your essence should be there. That self-awareness, that essence should come out in your writing. That is, I think, most important.
If your poetry could bring about one change in society, what would it be?
Have more empathy for each other. We are again at the crossroads of, I don't know, with AI and all that's happening around us, there's this big melting pot. More empathy, less reliance on chat boxes, AI. You've heard of people talking to AI chat boxes. So why? Because empathy between humans is less. We don't trust each other. So more empathy, more kindness is what I would wish for.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for this. When you say empathy, this is, and people talk to chatbots. It's only that I feel, being a psychologist, what I feel is people keep looking for validations of their thought processes instead of accepting what is the reality. So that is where, like the chatbots, whatever they are speaking, it reads whatever feed you have given, and based on that, so you feel like a sense of this thing. In fact, when you said loneliness, I felt you're talking about solitude instead of like it's not being lonely, but if you can somebody is in loneliness, if they come into a community, they will be in solitude. Being themselves, they can be in solitude. And I mentioned art, poems, any literature that always have built a bridge between any culture or bound without any boundaries, religions or anything. It has been, and when you go deep into it and understand, it makes us clear, like as you mentioned, we are one, we are humans and we are together, but only regionally we are separate. But then, like the root is the same. And that is gotten very beautifully. Thank you. Thank you so much, Komal, for joining us today and giving your insights. That's wonderful. If you would like to give any closing remarks, you can give.
Yes, thank you so much, Abirami, for this lovely interview. I think I gained more insights than what I've spoken from you. And thank you so much for that. what I would say is, in the end, that writing, poetry, arts, culture, as the Atelier magazine is trying to promote across borders, which is a huge mission and a wonderful mission for anyone to undertake. It takes a lot of courage to do that, to bring people together. I think that can spark a revolution across borders, again, to enhance our shared humanity, our empathy for each other. I think that is the goal. That is what we should strive for. And I'm very happy to be part of this effort, this humongous effort that you're trying to do. And thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being a wonderful part of it, and then, like, contributing and bringing in people also. Thank you so much for all the efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.